rush hour, but it looks like the surface street wrecks now are kind of taking over. We got about a half dozen of them cooking right now. One at Bethany Home Road at 59th Avenue. Another at Van Buren at Dysart Road. 83rd Avenue in Glendale. Wreck at 39th Avenue at Bethany Home Road. Arizona Avenue in Elliott, a crash, and 24th Street. North of the 202 Santan, you get a collision as well. A lot of the freeways are starting to tone down a little bit. Westbound 101 still slowing, though, from I-17 westbound over to 51st Avenue, and the 10 pretty thick from the 51 west out to 75th Avenue, spot west of the 101, and another spot at Verrado Way. Dieter and Ann, KTAR News.
Overnight low, right around 82 degrees. There's a 20% chance of a shower on Wednesday. We'll be up around 102 for a high and 100 on Thursday. But then into the upper 90s Friday through Monday. Monsoon season ends on Friday. In Tempe, right now, 98 degrees. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. With a replace or repair, call Howard Air.
Sharper Point commentary presented by Schwartz Laser Eye Center.
We had a story this morning about an effort in Michigan to ban students from using their phones during class.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
About how maybe having teachers collect phones before class starts might stop that. When my wife, who's a teacher, texted me this: teachers generally aren't allowed to collect them because parents flip out if a teacher takes or touches something so expensive. I understand the safety concerns that drive parents like me to want my kid to have a cell phone at school, but I wonder if that's what defeated a proposed Arizona law from not too long ago that said portable devices couldn't be used in class unless authorized by the teacher. By the way, my wife wasn't texting me during class. That would be classless. But not as classless as what some teachers are saying after the Arizona legislature was able to pass a law banning something else in classrooms: sexually explicit materials. For some, the reaction was way over the top. While the new law bans materials that include descriptions of sexual conduct, sexual excitement, or sex acts, exceptions are made for materials that have serious educational, literary, artistic, political, or scientific value. The bill's sponsor, Republican Representative Jake Hoffman of Queen Creek, says it's not about banning books, and the aforementioned exceptions mean teachers can still teach anatomy and biology. However, Jean Castine, the executive director of Secular AZ and a former arts and literature teacher, said the restrictions will exacerbate Arizona's teacher retention problem because, she said, educators are, quote, finding the working and learning conditions in Arizona to be untenable. So us parents are creating a hostile work environment because we expect to know the difference
Can I get
between
9
material that
value
titillates and that which
tacos?
educates.
The soft,
teachers who feel
the
that
soft
way should
tacos.
definitely use their phones during class to find a job in a
And
different state.
can I get
I know we
the all
already
the
have a
lettuce
teacher
in a
shortage,
container
and I
on
don't
the
want to see
side?
that get worse. But I think it's better to have my kid in a crowded classroom with carefully
Yeah,
compiled
but like just the
curriculum
lettuce
than
from all of
being
them in a
an
single
uncrowded
container. I'm
one
taking
where
them to
a
work
bunch
and
of
the lettuce
creepy
gets
crap
nasty.
being taught.
Join Jim Sharp, Jamie West, and Detour Dan tomorrow morning at 5 for Arizona's
it.
Morning News. Tomorrow's final January 6th committee has been postponed due to the impending Hurricane Ian.
I really wanted to hear the little Sharper Point, but I was to the drive one day.
Here on KTAR for the latest
Or
on
ordering
hurricane.
food.
And for any updates on the January 6th hearing, Congress is hearing.
That's not too weird, is it? I did it once before, and it was really nice. I could like microwave the tacos and then throw the lettuce in, and it made them good. Yes, in Del Scorcho. Hang on, where the hell's my Discover? There it is. Okay. So give me my receipt. So 6:20 p.m. as I get another pop-up from Discover telling me I'm close to my credit limit.
was in for Mike Broomhead, and he expressed his frustrations with the current state of the economy and President Biden's comments on gas prices.
Who are they going to drag up next if we have another bad week?
It's so weird. I'm getting all my push-through messages, all my push-through notifications on my iPhone for my Discover card app, but I can't remember my password, so I can't log into it. It's oddly functional that way. I just would like to log in and see just how damn close to my credit limit I am.
How to run a business, which I think was one of the great things about Donald Trump and the people he surrounded himself with. When President businessman, I believe, in order to make capitalism work. Yesterday at the White House, Joe Biden held a cabinet.
Man, I just realized I completely forgot to bring my charging cables to work for my phones. I doubt they make it through the night. Whoops.
Cabinet meeting, Joe Biden said some things that were untrue. I know Mr. Broomhead yesterday discussed the fact that on Friday at a teachers' conference, Joe Biden said that there were 41 states and the District of Columbia where gas was under $1.99, under $2 a gallon. And that's false. That's false. There's no state in the union currently where gas is under $3 a gallon. But Joe, he couldn't be stopped. He had to say something untrue, and here it was.
Thank you. Oh, is the receipt in the bag? Receipt in the bag? Thank you.
No, it's not. He said the price of gas.
The hell did a receipt become something you gotta ask for?
Summer. Yeah, well, it's also $1.30 higher than when you took office, sir. Now, here's the other story that Joe Biden keeps telling that is not true. One of those happened again yesterday when he was talking about, again, the price of gasoline.
Like many of you, I grew up in a family where the price of gasoline was a conversation at breakfast table. It was a conversation for real.
No, it's not for real, sir.
Sounds like he's talking into a pickle
When
bucket.
you were a child growing up, the price of gasoline did not fluctuate. It was flat. The price of gas didn't do that. So no, when you grew up in a family like you did in Claymont, Delaware, or Scranton, Pennsylvania, there was never a conversation
I
about
wonder
the
what
price
that
of
guy's actual life
gasoline
expectancy
at the
is, riding a
breakfast
motorcycle
table.
like that in traffic.
That's not for real.
You can hear more if you download the KTAR app and subscribe to the Mike Broomhead podcast.
That didn't sound like Mike Broomhead. It must have been somebody filling in for him.
We take a look at the KTAR business.
Oh, wow. Wow. Did y'all see what that motorcycle just did? How it went around the Camaro? Like lane split and then cut off the Camaro? Guys that ride like that are why, generally speaking, I can't stand motorcycles. And I understand not everybody rides like that. And I suppose that's why a lot of people hate bicycles as well. Although, admittedly, I'm the kind of bicyclist that people hate. But anyway, they don't follow traffic laws. That's because those traffic laws are for cars. I want a bike, motherfucker. Those traffic laws are for things that require a license to drive. This is not one of them. Wow, there's more tents in the little park on the left. People camping in it. I'm still tripping out on how that thing's got a sign. Like the city's apparently trying to sell that little parcel. God knows what anybody would actually do with it. And I still really haven't figured out what the heck this giant structure is going on the right here. It's a huge cast, but it looks like it's going to be an industrial building, which is weird. This is not an industrial area. At least not yet. But it very much looks like a warehouse going in. Oh, damn. I need to start checking Google traffic before I'm heading on this journey to work. It used to be after 6 p.m. it was nothing I ever really had to worry about. But, wow, this congestion is from hell. Wish I had some air conditioning to make it feel better. I haven't even called Rob and told him the air is completely gone out yet. I figure at this point I owe him so much damn money and just I'm trying to get through, 3 out of the last 5 weeks of not going to work. One week was just intense depression, but the other 2 weeks were pretty legit medical, dental issues. It really looks like a big warehouse going in on the right, and I wish I had a camera so y'all could see it. Of course, I'm going slow enough I can probably turn my camera. Yeah, that didn't help much. Not helping a whole lot. You can kind of see it there. Anyway. Yeah, it looks like traffic's moving on the freeway. It's just a lot of people hitting this meter. Shit. I need to start making a point of just looking at the Google traffic before I ever get on this freeway. I just chose to make myself late for work by not being informed. There's an accident at the short stack right now. See my Google traffic? See all that red? There's an accident at the short stack, and oh yeah, it's wow. Yeah, it's red and yellow all the way from the green. I hate these metered on ramps. Thank you. Accident the short stack, red and yellow, all the way to work. I don't know what my best bet is to avoid this. Van Buren, maybe? I'm definitely getting the hell off this freeway. This freeway is no good. And I'm probably going to be a little bit late to work. And today I don't really care, to be honest. I got enough PTO to cover it. I still don't think I've got my last medical leave excused yet. HR is being difficult. That's the short version. I could go into minutia and details with it, but I don't think anybody really wants to hear that crap. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm frustrated with it. And as I've told a handful of managers, it's shit like this that frustrates me with Amazon, having to just deal with layers of an app and upload this and upload that, and some of the HR people at the warehouse can help with some stuff, and some stuff they can't, and you need to call the HRC, I guess that's which means calling India and talking to somebody that I can't understand, that can barely understand me. Yeah, it's and I've told a handful of the managers that I work with, they all kind of agree with me just how frustrating that can be. That most other employers I've had, it would be as simple as me like kind of picking up my left lip and saying, "See, no teeth anymore. Pretty freaky, huh?" And my boss would be like, "Ew," and absences would be the absences would be excused because it's pretty obvious like why I wasn't at work last week. Just one look inside my mouth, but yeah, no. Amazon wants some department. I'm not even sure how this shit works. Wants paperwork. I'm still not entirely sure what it is they want. And the shitty thing is that I don't have any paperwork from my dentist that even has as much as my name on it. The only thing I have that's got my name on it is a handwritten appointment card. My discharge instructions it's just a form. It doesn't have my name on it, it doesn't have a date on it, it doesn't have anything. It's just general discharge for you've just had a major extraction and do this and do this and do this and don't do this and don't do this and don't do this. Yeah, and somebody else is like, yeah, that's not gonna be good enough for HR. I'm like, how is it my fault that this is what my dentist gives me? I don't have control over what the dentist gives me. The dentist does what the dentist does. How about you look inside my mouth? Probably the most solid thing that I have as far as like why my absence was excused is at least, or why it needs to be excused, is the debating which way I want to go to work. I think I'm gonna take Buckeye. Actually, you know what? No, I think I'm gonna. This is a work in progress. I don't know how I'm going to work. All I know is I got a half hour to get there, and I'm probably more than a half hour away on surface streets. And Loop 202 to I-10 and I-10 all the way to 75th Avenue is completely at a standstill due to accidents or whatever. I mean, it showed an accident at the short stack. I don't know what else. When I started this video, started recording, I heard Teacher Jan's traffic report and didn't hear of any snags on the I-10. I guess I-10 congestion going westbound is just, that's not even worth reporting anymore. That's just every day, which sucks. I mean, does that mean I need to start leaving at like 6 o'clock straight up? Because, wow, hour drive to work is shitty. I mean, it's a whole lot better than the 2.5 hours by bus that I had been my usual for a long time. So I guess I should be grateful I'm driving. But wow, it sucks. It totally sucks. You know, one thing I never commute to work. One thing I never did do was contact. Just thinking of do I have transit options? Because at this point, driving sucks. I can't help but think that, you know, transit's going to suck more. Because I've kind of done some side-by-side comparisons and tried to do some combination, but yeah, one thing I was totally going to do before I started driving again, and I never did do, was contact Valley Metro to see what the procedure is for getting like a parking pass to use the park and ride over by Gateway Community College overnight. Because there's signs that basically say, I forget exactly what the signs say, but something along the line of no overnight parking. If you need to contact Valley Metro for a permit. I think all the contact information's on the sign. I just need to roll by there and take a picture of the damn sign. But obviously that's to avoid people, homeless people living in their cars at the park and ride, and people just using the park and ride as a place for vehicle storage, which makes complete sense. I mean, that lot is still, that's one of those things where it's kind of private property, it's kind of public property. I mean, it's definitely private property in that it's owned by the transit system, City of Phoenix, Valley Metro, but it's public in that that's a public amenity. So, kind of like the airport. Oh, those arrows always kind of freak me out, but it means I can do this. I really hate the way they implemented the light rail here. I think there's so many better ways they could have done it. And I've seen some near misses at that intersection, but I don't know if I can turn left on red here or not. There's a sign just to the left of that red light. It might say no left on red, but with the sun setting behind it, it just looks like a black rectangle to me. I'm going to go. Oh, I got a green light anyway. That worked out well. I didn't even check to see what traffic's like on this freeway. I'm like, let's head to another freeway. Maybe I'm going for congestion. Oh no, that looks. Oh, this is good. This is green all the way to the Stag. I think I'm gonna keep my other phone open on my knee so I can look down and see traffic. I really need to get a second smartphone holder in here so I can be recording these vlogs while I'm driving and still see the traffic aggregated. I shouldn't have to choose to do one thing or the other. It does look like westbound. It looks like the I-10 going across downtown is still got a lot of red in it, but it looks like west of the Stack, it looks like it's starting to ease up. It's instead of patches of red, now it's just yellow. So maybe if I go around the south loop here on I-17 back to I-10, I'll be all right to take I-10 all the way to work. Although it's kind of tempting to go across on Buckeye just for a change of scenery. I always dig driving this stretch of I-17. I got a lot of really, really pleasant memories. As I've mentioned before, I have a really strained relationship with my father. At this point, it's like I don't have any relationship at all with my dad. I mean, I know where he is, I think. I don't have his phone number anymore, but I'm sure I could get it from my sister if I wanted to. But yeah, I haven't had much to do with him for decades. But as a child, part of my childhood, phone split up, and even after my phone split up, I did spend time with him. And I do have really fond memories of going down this freeway with him to different places. places, like back in the 70s and even the 80s. Like now, there's a lot of Phoenix freeways. So if somebody talks about Phoenix freeways, they're specifying which one. You know, they're talking about the I-10 and the 51, the Loop 101, Loop 202, Loop 303, the 143, or they'll say them by name if they're talking about a chunk of the freeway, like the South Mountain Freeway, or the one that the name you're not supposed to use, the Squaw Peak Parkway. I just love using old road names. And the funny thing is, this is still referred to as the Maricopa, but they'll refer to the I-10 on the other side of the split and this chunk of I-10 as the Maricopa, because that's how it is signed, at least how it used to be signed. But back in the 70s and 80s, generally speaking, people in Phoenix would say the freeway, and quote unquote the freeway was the only freeway through Phoenix. Phoenix didn't have much in the way of freeways, and Road Guy Rob did an excellent video about it. I will try to remember to link it to the description, but if it's not in my video description, just do a search for Road Guy Rob Phoenix freeways and it should come right up. But yeah, back in the oh gosh, I want to say late 50s, early 60s, when the interstate system started, and that's before my time, so my knowledge of it is a little off. But I want to say President Eisenhower was the one who got that going, and well, I-10 is still looking pretty shitty. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Buckeye. I was just glancing down at my leg to look at the traffic. That sounds really bizarre. That's legit what I was doing, though. Wow, now I'm trying to remember if there's even going to be an exit for Buckeye Road going this way. It's been so long since I've done this. Like, there we go, 19th Avenue, Buckeye Road. Just trying to remember if I needed to get. It's very rare that I come from here and I want to get on Buckeye Road. So I was trying to remember if I needed to, especially to go westbound. So I was trying to remember if this is one of those situations where I needed to exit 19th and take the frontage road up to Buckeye, or 19th to Buckeye, or if I was going to get a Buckeye exit. And there's a Buckeye exit. Generally speaking, I have the city pretty memorized, but sometimes there's little specifics like that. Since I'm not a cab driver anymore, Buckeye Road, half mile. Anyway, so the freeway in Phoenix consisted of I-17 coming in from north of the valley, from Flagstaff, and cut through just like, basically I'm driving on what was the freeway, but it would go through the Durango curve here, which was supposed to be a future intersection. It's not an intersection, it's just a curve. If you go in this direction and exit for Buckeye. Buckeye Road, not the town of Buckeye. Although if you take Buckeye Road far enough west, it will eventually lead you to the town of Buckeye. So there's that. Not a route I would recommend to take to Buckeye if you're on the freeway. Anyway, it would go around the corner, and it used to be, once you got past the Durango curve, it started being signed as I-10. It was I-17 north of the Durango curve, I-10 east of the Durango curve. It's a curve, you know. From the curve, the freeway goes north. From the curve, the freeway goes in the other direction. It goes east, and up to the split. There used to be a different freeway intersection where the split is now, which was just to a little teeny tiny spur freeway that went all the way to. Memory serves, it went all the way to Buckeye Road. That's all the farther that little spur went. So, yeah, basically nothing. It was quite a neat intersection, though. That was supposed to be a freeway. I've looked at a lot of plans of, like, original plans for freeways. You know, it was the original plan back when the interstate system first started happening, and then Phoenix people just voted it down. They're like, no, we do not want to be Los Angeles. And for years and years and years, Phoenix was just very, very freeway resistant. Like, no, we don't need freeways. We don't want that here. And it just got to the point where the city just grew and grew and grew, and there was so much sprawl and just no freeways. Like if you were coming, you're like, well, wait a minute, what if you're coming in from Los Angeles? If you're coming in from Los Angeles on I-10, the freeway ended at Dysart Road. That was it. You Surface Street. You'd take Surface Streets from there on down. In fact, this road here, Buckeye Road, used to be signed as temporary I-10. This was this is where ADOT routed I-10 traffic. It was on Buckeye Road. Of course, there were other roads you could take. Phoenix was always been on a grid system. I remember heading to LA with my folks. We live near around 55th Avenue and Camelback, a little north. So we usually take Camelback Road. I got another motorcycle reeving in and out of traffic. Not as bad as that last one though. We take Camelback Road, usually all the way to Litchfield Road, and then Litchfield down, and catch I-10 there, which was was freeway when you got that far out west. But yeah, I-10 did not bring you into Phoenix, and right now it's all contiguous city. From here to I-10 to Litchfield. But back then, Litchfield Road was far outside of Phoenix. Like that was a whole other planet out there. Driving west on Camelback, it wasn't too far past 67th Avenue that it just turned to fields, cotton fields and citrus groves. It's most of what passed, and then some patches of open desert. I'm still looking at the traffic aggregate on Google for I-10, and it ain't looking good. I'm making good time here on Buckeye Road, so this is all good. It smells funky through here. Really funky through here. I sure hope that's the smell of the neighborhood, not the smell of me. Just saying. Pretty sure it is. Yeah, there's some not so pleasant smelling industries in this area. It's very much an industrial area down here. Actually really close to my first childhood home upon moving to Phoenix as a toddler. The first place my folks moved to was near 27th Avenue and Lincoln Drive, which is just less than a half mile north of Buckeye Road. So. Newsflash.
It's 6:45 now. I'm Becky Lynn, and here's what you need to know right now. The interim Maricopa County attorney is offering a little clarity on how she plans to navigate the legal confusion surrounding a recent near-total abortion ban here in Arizona. Rachel Mitchell says the laws restricting abortions are still unclear.
Use birth control, people.
Focused on using resources on other crimes.
My office will prioritize resources to address violent crime, the scourge of fentanyl coming across our border, and threats to public safety and welfare.
She emphasized women will not be prosecuted for seeking abortions and says claims this will happen are political moves to create fear. That's the sound of dozens of
Lincoln Town car on my left, driving in the dark, no headlights, no taillights.
Similar demonstrations around the country.
Oh, just turn them on
Some of
just
the
now.
changes workers are pushing for: better pay, access to better conditions while traveling on the job, and to be paid at work while passengers are boarding.
A strobe light from the taco stand there on the right. That's neat. I haven't come this way at night in a long time.
News earlier today regarding fentanyl smuggling at the southern border.
Kudos to Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis.
Whoa, no, I guess those are just brake lights because he's back in the dark, the Lincoln Town car. That's fun to watch. Now you see me, now you don't. Now you see me, now you don't. Now you see me, now you don't. What the hell?
He says August seizures in Nogales alone totaled around 5.
Oh, I missed the light.
KTAR Eyes on the Economy, a new survey by the advocacy group Unidos US looked at how Latinos in Arizona, California,
Somebody needs to let that
and
guy know
Texas
it's
are doing
dark.
Financially.
We found that Latinos continue to struggle to make ends meet and to suffer
Oh, his
from higher
headlights are
debt
on now.
burdens and lower savings rates.
The group's Santiago Sueros says
Weird.
nearly 2/3 of those surveyed had less than $500.
So anyways, I was trying to explain, yeah, the freeway from the Durango curve, at that point it was I-10, and it went through where the split is now, but that was the main just route, like where I was, the little stretch I drove down of I-17, it's I-17 now, and then on out where I-10 is now. There was a little spur route, but that was an exit for that. It wasn't like it is now, where you've got the main flow of traffic coming from across the Salt River and heading north. Salt River Bridge, where it is now, it's always been there. It used to be a lot smaller bridge, and then it went on, into Tempe. The Broadway curve was always there, although it used to be a much smaller freeway there. And from then it went south just the way it does now, all the way to where you hit the reservation, which is where all the casinos and stuff are now. There's no casinos back then. Although, if memory serves, it was only 2 lanes each direction back then as you headed south and into Tucson. And once you crossed baseline, well, there was always the town of Guadalupe on the side, never an exit for Guadalupe Road. I do recall there always being an exit for Elliott, though. But once you got to Elliott, there really wasn't anything there. All right, we got a jackass going to weave in and out of traffic. Wow, I just realized I'm the idiot driving with no headlights on. Let's hear it for Saturn and daytime running lights. Speaking of my headlights, they are really dim, and I think that's just because the plastic housing on them. I miss the old school type headlights that were like a big glass thing where there was a lens that was an integral part of the bulb. They were more expensive, but I kind of miss those. They were a lot easier to adjust and always a lot clearer, and you just had glass on the front. Yeah, this is like a more, this is the way pretty much all modern cars are. Like I've got the little bulb thing inside of it, and the housing, and it's plastic, and of course, since this is a 2006 model car, the plastic is all kinds of clouded up. When I first got this car, friend Mike offered to polish them up for me, and he did, and they looked fabulous for, I don't know, 3-4 months, and then after that they clouded up, cloudier than they were before, so that's kind of why my headlights are dim. And I've had, the last couple times I went into AutoZone, they kind of tried to sell me on the kits. Gosh, I can't believe I'm looking at the traffic and it's still really bad on I-10. It's like yellow all the way to the 202 where it heads south around South Mountain, and then on the other side of 202 all the way to 75th is red. I do see that I can take the 202 up to Van Buren without any traffic issues, so that's cool. I can kind of see the 202 up ahead. I was going to totally talk about what happened last night at Amazon. Not feeling it. This is more interesting, kind of doing the adventure of trying to get to work on time with this shit traffic. I mean, I shouldn't say shit traffic. Buckeye Road has been great. But yeah, I've been watching the Google traffic on Google Maps on my leg, glancing down. It's I guess that's the new normal. I just need to adjust my schedule accordingly, which is all the more reason I should maybe apply to work at Costco. I still haven't done my application for Costco, as I said I was going to. Although I did hear some really good reasons to stay at Amazon, even though I'm super frustrated about... Oh, I am suspended as a pit driver. I mean, I think I clarified that on the last video, but yeah, it's... and it's over the tote. It's nothing to do with the energy drinks. It's over the energy drinks. It's over the tote incident, which was frustrating because that was investigated, and I was told that everything was just fine, and I was sent back to work, and then I loaded trucks all day the following day. So from what I've been told from everybody, that's just not the way that works. If you're suspended, somebody comes and talks to you and tells you you're suspended. What I was told was completely the opposite. And then I was just locked out of my forklift at the end of my shift Wednesday, right at the end of my shift, Wednesday before last. So I was told on Sunday night, come on, scoot forward so I can change lanes. It's crazy how far people sit behind other cars stopped at red lights. I don't remember people doing that in the 80s and 90s. But now, so often I see so much space between cars waiting at red light. I mean, granted, you're not supposed to be right on somebody's ass at a red light. I was always told in driver's ed that you should be far enough back that you can see their tires. And where I'm sitting, I can see the tires of the vehicle. But yeah, I constantly see people so far back that like you could easily park another car between them and the car in front of them. Sometimes I will, just to make my point, change lanes and wedge into those spots. I'm sure it pisses people off, but you know, maybe they'll learn, hey, pull the fuck up. I'm wasting all that space. There's police activity on the left. Excuse me. 6:53. I'm awfully close to making it to work on time, but ooh, I see a whole lot of police lights up ahead. Hopefully that doesn't mess with what's left of my work commute. Anyway, so I was told on Sunday night, initially nobody knew I was suspended. I was just, well, you're suspended. The one guy that was at Learning said it to me like I should be aware and know why. And then when I said, you know, got real indignant when I was like, well, can you at least tell me why? You know, it was just kind of like, well, you know why. No, really, I don't. Talked to my manager, Sean, ended up talking to another manager. I wish I could remember his name. So, really cool black guy. I get a feeling he recently has been promoted. Because it used to be I would only see him when I would wander through other departments on my way to you know, run errands or whatever for my department. And at that time I was working in inbound exclusively, but sometimes I need to take a pallet or whatever over to NPC, and mostly that's where I go. But and then there was kind of an area just past there where it was not far from inbound, where there would be stacks of empty pallets. And there was a time where I was just 100% my focus was running out empty pallets, and I didn't feel like I was really leaving my area. So a lot of times as I was running my rounds, I would go there and get their pallets as well. I think I'm helping everybody out. And when he was the manager, I'd usually see him I'd see him at NPC, and I'd see him over at Pallet Prep, which are all very near to where I work. 79th, I think it is. No, 71st. I really must be able to see street signs in a far distance than I used to be able to. So I would see him, and we just kind of got a rapport, kind of chatting with each other. And he observed a long time ago. It's like he would just notice, and I like it when managers notice, because sometimes it seems like managers don't notice people that have good work ethic, people that get out of the way. But he would notice, like, wherever I would be passing through, if I saw something that was out of place, you know, whether that's it's trash on the floor or just some pallets or some totes blocking the walkway, what have you, I would stop, organize it, clean it up, pick it up, whatever, and then go about my business and do it, you know, relatively quickly. I think this bus has a pullout. Sure is taking its sweet time pulling out. Dang. It just reminds me of that time I was late to work. Notably late to work because a bus driver decided to, and I got that on a vlog. Bus driver decided to pull into that spot and then go into the QT and disappear for like 15 minutes on a bus that was already running late. Anyway, I wish I could remember this manager's name, but it got to the point where every time we'd see each other, we just kind of chat a little bit, and I get a feeling he's been promoted. In fact, I almost feel like he's above Sean. Maybe he's at the same level as Sean. I kind of deliberately keep myself in the dark about the management structure, like the upper management structure of that building. I just try to keep an air of, and maybe it's not the best career move for me, but I just try to keep an air of like, not that I don't care, but that, like, I'm not subservient to you. Kind of like, I'm here to do my job, you know. But like, I don't just take everything from any supposed manager as you know, unquestionably whatever. Like, they throw something out, and if I think it's a good idea, then I'll tell them. If I think it's a bad idea, I'll tell them. If I've got some other ideas, I'll submit them, or I'll state what they are. And usually that works well for me. I still see a lot of people turning in. I would imagine there's going to be a lot of people rolling in late today, looking at all that traffic on I-10. Oh, there's finally a little bit of green. Yeah, I never know. Would I have got here quicker had I taken I-10? I don't know. I know I'd have been hot and frustrated. My car might have been freaking overheated, so a lot more pleasant driving down Buckeye. Anyway, I better wrap the story up because it's I'm like really pushing the envelope on getting in the building on time. But so long story short, I was told that other manager had also asked what was going on and was offered to help. And then later through the day, I ran into Chevy, who had investigated. She's one of the main gals for safety. She had investigated. Came there to investigate the whole tote thing. I'm not sure if I've explained that or not. It's annoying, I'll tell you that. But she's the one who sent me back to work and said everything was just fine. So at one point I'm by Sean and I'm just asking him. I'm not sure if he asked me something or if I asked him something. I'm dropping off some pallets in the pallet loading zone, which at this point I'm refusing to straighten up much, just because like I kind of feel like I'm being jacked around in that way. Wow, I need to get in the building. So super long story short, Chevy did a 180, said that, oh yeah, I'm suspended and that's why, because that has to be done. I'm like, if it had to be done, why wasn't it done when it happened? Why was I sent back to work and then spent the entire next day loading trucks? And she kind of gave me a really weak excuse for that, you know, kind of sounded like politicians trying to weasel out of trying to change their story and weasel out of something they said and make it look like that's not what they're doing. Kind of blocking my lens. I forgot what corner of the phone it is when I pull it out of the holder. Anyway, so what I was being told, I was told by learning, and I was told by safety and everything is just, hey, don't worry about it. Tomorrow you can come in and you can talk to Jessica at learning as soon as you get here. Well, yesterday when I came in, as soon as I got there, I went to learning to be told that Jessica wasn't going to be in all week. She's working day shift this week. So yeah, it's the constant lying and changing of stories that is frustrating, more frustrating than the experience. But as I discussed with a handful of people, to me the annoying thing is that, oh, well, you've got to be retrained. This isn't a training issue. The minor mistake that I made was due to a lack of being on the forklift. I hadn't been on the forklift. That was my first day back to doing totes in like 6 weeks. Obviously, just let me keep at it so I don't. So like it's just me getting a feel of it. Like you can't read a book and know how to swim. You can't read a book and know how to ride a bicycle. It's a thing you got to get a feel for. You fall down, you get back up, you get your balance better, and same kind of thing. And again, anyway, it's just frustrating because I got a feeling I'm going to be like in this endless feedback loop of I get rusty because they've taken me out the pit to go through a training class that at this point I could teach. And anyway, I'm frustrated. What can I say?